we could lean on each other. You know, it was such a unique way to grow up.
Fred Savage is talking childhood memories with his brother Ben and more. And we've got the stories that define the week on People in 10. I'm Andrea Belke, bringing you everything you need to know about pop culture right now. We've got 10 minutes, so let's dive right in with the first 5, starting with Max Chmerkovskiy's escape amid the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Max is now home in Los Angeles after hunkering down in the country's capital for days.
I'm gonna try to make my way out.
Chmerkovskiy made headlines for documenting his experience on Instagram.
Just a lot of fighting everywhere. Streets are crazy. At one point, I got arrested. That was probably the least traumatizing moment in this whole thing.
And on Tuesday, he reached Poland by train.
But Max admitted that he felt guilt after escaping the war zone.
I'm scared, I'm confused, I'm terrified, and I've just lived through some that I'm gonna need a lot of therapy for.
Vladimir Putin's troops began invading Ukraine 1 week ago.
Hundreds have been reported dead or wounded, including children.
Thousands more have taken refuge in neighboring countries, while global support for Ukraine continues to grow.
Members of the royal family, including Prince Charles, Prince William, Kate Middleton, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle, have said they stand with the people of Ukraine.
Switching gears to a viral video you have to see to believe. A dad is being called a hero for throwing his body over his 18-year-old son to save him from a charging bull at a Texas rodeo. The incredible video was shared by writer Cody Hooks, but his father Landis told GMA it's just part of everyday cowboy life. And Shay Mitchell is having some fun with maternity style on her Instagram, as she's expecting her second child with Matt Babel. Shay posted these photos joking, quote, "Every sweater is a maternity sweater if your safety pins work hard enough." And congratulations are in order for Bachelor alum Colton Underwood, who's engaged to his partner Jordan C. Brown. Colton wrote in his announcement, "Life is going to be fun with you," while Jordan gave his fiancée some love in a post of his own. Colton reviewed exclusively to People that the couple's engagement went down during a weekend getaway to Big Sur, California. Moving on to Jason Momoa's love for family amid his split from wife Lisa Bonet.
Jason attended the New York City world premiere of The Batman on Tuesday in support of Zoë Kravitz, his stepdaughter, who stars in the film as Catwoman.
I can take care of myself.
Jason walked the carpet with his and Lisa's 2 kids. He wore a nice burgundy suit for the event, while Zoe wore a sleek black dress.
Ahead of the premiere, Momoa supported Kravitz on social media.
He posed with Zoe's boyfriend Channing Tatum, saying that they were on the way to see their Zozo and that he was so proud of her. A source tells us that Jason loves Zoe and always has. And just because he and her mom are no longer together, that doesn't mean their love has changed. He really believes in family.
He also has a good relationship with her father, Lenny Kravitz.
They are all close. That's just who Jason is. They continue to be comfortable with each other.
The former couple announced their split in January after nearly 17 years together. We're kicking off Women's History Month with People's annual Women Changing the World issue. Our cover star is the one and only Lizzo.
Y'all made me cry on the second goddamn question. What the I wasn't even going to cry today. I'm a thug.
It's no secret the Grammy winner is a music powerhouse, but she's committed to helping other women succeed too.
I and many people who look like me have been devalued and undervalued. I had to work hard to get to this position, even when people didn't believe that I would make it here. But now that I'm here by the skin of my mother teeth, I'm about to just shine the light on these people that I believe are talented and worthy and deserving to be valued, you know, and represented.
And she's doing just that with her new reality series, Watch Out for the Big Girls.
It's hard to love yourself in a world that doesn't love you back. You were created specially in your image for you to enjoy.
And there are even more powerful women to be celebrated, like Goldie Hawn, who was inspired by 9/11 to create Mind Up, a nonprofit helping kids cope with stress.
It changed the world forever. And with that, it was looking at the trajectory of the world and are our children prepared to really handle what's in front of us? Because it was challenging. These children were a bit traumatized by it.
And Keke Palmer's mission to support young women of color through her charity, Saving Our Cinderellas, is personal.
If I didn't have the support system that I have, then I was gonna find my ways to TV somehow. And my grandma said it was gonna be Jerry Springer. So it was either Jerry or Nickelodeon and Disney. So I'm glad we went with that route, the Disney and Nickelodeon one.
And Monica Johnson dedicated her life to helping people with HIV after her own diagnosis and her young son's death from the virus.
One of my saying is, I don't have time or T cells to waste. So I think we've been able to reach and help a group of people that other people didn't want to be bothered with.
Those are just some of this year's amazing women changing the world. Now let's move on to some screen time, brought to you by new Goldfish Megabytes. I'm so excited to be joined now by Fred Savage, actor, director, producer, and one of Goldfish's newest partners.
New Goldfish Megabytes are the bigger, bolder, cheesier Goldfish reboot.
Just like you're my bigger, cheesier brother.
How dare you?
For these final 5 minutes of the show, I'm gonna ask you 5 questions. For question number 1, you have to give me 1 answer. For question number 2, you have to give me 2 answers, and so on. Let's get started. We, of course, know you from The Wonder Years, which followed your character, Kevin Arnold, as he navigated life in the late 1960s and early 1970s.
Yeah, that's me. Kevin Arnold, 1968.
You are now producing and directing a reboot of the show, which takes place during the same time period, but focuses on a black family in Alabama.
Why would Coach be sweet on Mama?
Stay out of grown folks' business.
What was one reason that you were convinced to join this new version?
I think it's important to tell a story in that time, 1968, or any time. All different kinds of families are experiencing their own wonder years. There's a universality to that time in your life, and I love that we can explore what the wonder years means to a brand new family.
I finally get to feel the same as everybody else.
This show was a must-see for so many when it was on the air.
Kevin, I care about you. You mean a lot to me.
A lot of my childhood memories involve grabbing a snack and sitting in front of the TV with my siblings. So what, in your opinion, is the one perfect snack for a TV sesh?
Goldfish Megabytes, Andrea, of course. You can share them. They are fun. You can eat them in a handful. You can eat them one at a time. You can start with the tail or the head. They're incredibly versatile. It makes any viewing experience better.
Were you a fan of Goldfish when you were younger? Because personally, I was.
Those were my go-to snack, like on the way after school from my school to downtown Chicago for these auditions. So like, honestly, I feel like my entire career was built on the fuel of Goldfish.
And I feel like The Wonder Years really was the ultimate family sitcom.
And that's pretty much the way that summer went.
What are 2 days of filming that have stuck with you over all these years?
When we shot the very end of the pilot episode, when Kevin and Winnie first kiss, it was my and Danica McKellar, who played Winnie. It was our first kisses in real life. And we did it on camera in front of the whole crew with our moms sitting just off camera. But I remember that just so vividly. I was so scared. I was so nervous. I was so excited. I was so cold. It was shot at night. Remember all those emotions just contributed to something that, a memory that I'll have forever.
I think about the events of that day again and again, and somehow I know that Winnie does too.
And then I remember the very last scene I shot. Kevin was working at like kind of a summer resort. I was sitting on the bottom bunk, and the director, his name was Michael Dinner, and he had directed a lot of episodes. And I remember the last take, and he sat down next to me on the bottom bunk and just put his arms around me, and I'll never forget that moment.
And your brother Ben was also on an insanely popular show growing up.
Would you be my girlfriend?
It's so cool that the two of you have that in common and so rare.
We could lean on each other. You know, it was such a unique way to grow up. It's such an extraordinary childhood. I feel like having someone just like in the bedroom next door who's going through those same things that you are at the same time was just such an incredible resource.
Kevin was, of course, in love with Winnie Cooper. Who could forget?
You're the only girl I ever think about.
What are 3 other classic twosomes, could be on past or present shows, that you love seeing on TV?
Sam and Diane, obviously.
I hate you.
Are you as turned on as I am?
More.
Anna and Mr. Bates come to mind.
Because I love you, Mr. Bates.
And Abby and Alana from Broad City.
What is all of this?
Welcome to She Work. We are officially open for shizness.
Yes! And with this idea of a reboot in mind,
It really is like a reboot.
What are 4 throwbacks that you're super excited have made a comeback or you'd love to see return?
Couldn't be more thrilled to see Mario Kart back. I'm thrilled that Rubik's Cubes have stood the test of time. I'm a big fidgeter, so I always like something like in my hands I can fiddle with, so big fan of that. I'd love to just bring Michael Jordan back. That was like my whole childhood. I loved it so much. And second grade. I really liked second grade. I could have done that again.
And finally, what are 5 reasons that people should watch the new The Wonder Years?
Our cast. Cast is fantastic.
Be cool.
Brand new family.
We on the radio, baby.
No, you better be excited. What daddy said.
Brand new setting.
It's weird to grow up in a time when your mom and dad have to give you the police talk.
It has all the same kind of DNA as the original.
The age of locker rooms, bullies.
Hey, 4 Eyes.
And girls.
If you loved First Wonder Years at all, if it meant something to you, if you watched it with your parents or you watch it with your kids, there's definitely something in this new one for you.
Your first hit, your first kiss, the first time your dad lets you know that he sees you.
Fred, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, be sure to watch The Wonder Years, airing Wednesday nights on ABC. All right, time's up. See you next Thursday.